Yes, that'll be fine. Make sure it goes out by today's mail coach.
Very good, sir.
Mr. Boyd, Mrs. Delaney has arrived.
Ah, right. How do you do, Mrs. Delaney? And welcome to Ballycastle.
I'm very pleased to meet you, Mr. and Mrs. Boyd.
This is the house we came to when Mr. Boyd started the harbour. He needed to be closer to his works.
Yes, we left a fine house in Drumawillen.
Mr. Boyd built this in 1735.
We have a covered market below, a courthouse above and a jail cell at the back.
And why is it built in the middle of the street?
Well, we need more room for more houses, and the street's still wide enough.
Mr. McEldonia has built a fine inn down in Church Square. He's back from Dublin.
What a fine church, Mr. Boyd. How long did it take you to build it?
4 years, Mrs. Delaney. I hired masons over from England.
There's a sundial on the tower, as well as a clock. Come, let me show you.
Here's some of the linen you asked for, sir.
Ah, yes. That's much better.
Mr. Boyd has increased the linen trade here. Many of the farmers grow their own flax. Some even have their own weaving loom.
We export a great deal of cloth now.
When Mr. Boyd made this fine avenue, he named Ann Street after me.
When these trees are fully grown, they will match the best avenue in Dublin. And this is your new house, Mr. Boyd. So close to the harbour.
Mr. Boyd must be near his works.
This is my street. Father called it Mary Street after me. What a fine harbour, Mr. Boyd. Is this your bottle works? It's so tall.
Yes, madam. We make the balls for your wine. The cone is 90 foot high and we burn our own coal and export the balls on our own ships, taking coal to Dublin.
Mr. Boyd has 4 ships, Mrs. Delaney, all carrying our goods to Belfast and Dublin.
These are some of my best mounds, Mrs. Delaney, from here right along the shore. Ah, here are 2 of my workers.
We used to have wooden piers here, but now we have the tramways all the way to the new harbour.
As you can see, this isn't exactly the safest place to load coal into the ships. That's why we needed the harbour.
We send coal to most of the bleach greens in Ireland, and as well as many of the salt works.
When Mr. Boyd started his work here, he had the only salt works. Now there are dozens. Shall we go there next?
Yes, I'd love to, Mrs. Boyd.
We collect the seawater here, then pump it into the ponds over there. The coal mine here is below sea level, so we need to use a box wheel to pump it dry. When we heat the water in the pans, the salt crystallizes. Then we put it into baskets to dry and pack it in barrels for shipping.
Well, Mrs. Delaney, what do you think of my father's work?
I'm astounded, Miss Boyd, that one man can do so much in a lifetime. I can see now why they call him the Star of the North. You have made work for many hands, Mr. Boyd.
Yes, as many as 600 at one time. Many of them from distant parts, such as England, Scotland and Wales. They have brought their crafts and skills to help us build the most industrious port on the north coast, where before there was but a saltworks, an old castle and a market.